What's going on, everybody? I'm up at the building site and I just wanted to give a quick update. All the bar is set and ready to go for concrete, and that will be happening tomorrow. They're going to be pouring around 350 yards of concrete on this floor, and then when the beams and the slats and all that good stuff show up, it'll be about 750 yards total. It takes a ton of concrete to build a hog building, if you didn't know that. So what we got going here is what is called a power screed. What it's used for is pretty much to flatten out the concrete. As they work their way down pouring concrete, they'll slide this over the top of the concrete that they already did, and it'll smooth it out and make it look really nice. Another thing I wanted to mention to you guys, they put tile all the way around the footing of this building, and they hooked it up to another tile line that runs out. And the reason they did that was basically to keep the foundation of the building dry as possible, because you do not want your foundation to draw moisture and go to crap. You want it strong, dry, and that'll make it last forever. The final thing I wanted to show you guys, if you didn't see already, they poured rock all the way around the footing of this building as well. And the reason they did that was it's a lot easier for the concrete workers to stand on rock and work pouring the concrete on rock than, you know, kneeling in the mud, standing in the mud, working in the mud. You don't want to be working in the mud. The pump truck should be here around 10 a.m. tomorrow, and the crew will show up and we'll get this thing going. This will probably be an all-day deal to get this whole thing poured. So it'll be interesting and it'll be really cool to see the process. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 10 a.m. sharp. We started a little earlier than I thought. We're starting at 8 instead of 10. We got a long ways to go. They're not even halfway yet. Concrete trucks coming in constantly. They're pouring constantly. Hopefully they get a lot done before the heat starts coming out.
Okay, so it's go day. They're pouring both halves together. They're using a power screed. They got 2 power screeds running. Each one of them is 50 feet wide. And with the pump truck, the invention of the pump trucks made all the difference in the world for just about all kinds of construction, because they can literally swing that thing out and put the concrete right where they want it, which makes it a heck of a lot easier. Rebar, they've got it all tied together, and then these plastic chairs, they call these chairs, they hold it up off the floor, because if you don't have those in there, when you pour this concrete, the rebar is just going to literally lay right on the ground. It's not going to be up in the mix. Where they've dug this out right here, this is where the center wall of the building goes, and it will be a 10-inch wall that goes up to the level of the slats, and then it will be a 6-inch wall above that, because you've got a slat ledge on each side, and that's what the center of the trusses of the building will sit on. That center wall, there's 2 pieces. The trusses are 2 pieces, and they sit on that center wall. That center wall divides our 2 halves, because this is a 2,400 head building, but it's basically 2 rooms that you slid together, and they share this common wall down the middle. Perfect day. It's about 75 degrees, low humidity. Everything's going really, really well. They're pouring this concrete, all these guys along here, they're just pretty much leveling it out and making sure there isn't any low spots ahead of that screed. If it's a little bit high, that doesn't matter, because the screed, as it vibrates, it pushes that concrete forward. You just don't want to have any voids in it. And then the red tanks, the guys that have the tank, you can see how the top of the concrete looks white, and that's what you call curing compound. And it's kind of a wax. It's got some oil in it and wax, and I don't honestly know what all the ratio is, but what that does is it helps slow down how fast the concrete gets hard, because on a day like today where you got full sun, and granted it's not too hot today, but when they're pouring in the summertime and you get some hot days, that curing compound helps slow down how fast the concrete dries, so it doesn't get stress cracks. It it doesn't dry too fast from the top to the bottom. This was ahead of all the other ones. We got a guy coming down the hole on the other side. This is Jason Mckay. He's the job site supervisor for PSI. They get money from the government for hiring him, because if it wasn't for them paying him, he'd just be on welfare, because he's pretty much, well, I don't really know what he does, but they gave him a t-shirt and a truck to drive, so at least he's employed. It takes, you have to really work hard to show up after the sale. That old house was buried by the end. It had slate siding.
That guy over there, he controls the pump. He controls this whole rig right here just by the controller that he has in his lap right there. He controls where that pump goes. He controls when it starts pouring concrete. He has all kinds of buttons and stuff on that rig of his, and he gets to control the whole thing. That is probably the most important job when it comes to pouring concrete. It's pretty cool.
This is Tim Messenger. He is the greatest thing that ever came out of Brighton, Iowa. And you can tell the seasons by when he breaks his vest out. So he's got a vest for every season. Tim is the building salesman for this area, for PSI, and he's basically a glorified order taker. So guys like me that want a hog building have to deal with people like him.
If you guys didn't know this yet, my dad is a very sarcastic person, and we're good with all these guys. They're good friends of ours. We're just busting their balls, that's all. They're a great company. They do a lot. They've built all 3 of our buildings. This is our 4th building we're building, and we've always gone through PSI. We love what they do and their services for us. Crew's on a little bit of a break because they had to move this pump over because they're getting to this final section over here, and the boom couldn't reach over there, so they had to move the truck. They're having a little lunch break. Once this rig gets back in the air, they'll go ahead and they'll start getting back to work. Looks like the crew's off lunch break. They moved the pump, so now it's time to go for round 2. So a lot of you have been asking why we built this building so much further away than all the other buildings that we have. Well, right now the company we grow for isn't taking on any more 4,800 sites. We currently have one 4,800 site. Site 1, all the way over there, is a double site. It's 2 2400s together, and we have a hallway that connects both of them. Then we have a 2400 on our main farm, and that is just a single site just like this one. We don't have any places to put a hog building without getting into the field, so we figured if we're gonna build one, we might as well build it in the corner of the field, not in the middle of it. When you go to do field work, you're gonna have to do field work around the building. Why don't just put it in the corner, and then you won't have to go around the building at all. If we could have, we would have made the other building that's by itself a 4,800 site, but we couldn't because they're not giving contracts out to 4,800 sites right now. So that was kind of the logic behind us putting this hog building in the corner. Pretty bumpy, so we're gonna flatten that out. We're out down to the very last spot to go for concrete. They have one little chunk left and they'll be all the way done. So, Dad, how do you feel about?
I feel good. This is my favorite part because this is like, well, this is concrete, so this is final. Once you make it to this point,
You're in.
You can't shit out after that. This is a good thing. This one piece will make more profit than the rest of this whole field will. So hog buildings are one of the best investments that I've ever made. They're pretty expensive today, but in the long run, you can't beat them, I don't think. If I would have started building my first shed when I was 20, I'd be about this big around now and be just sipping on a Mai Tai somewhere.
Man, that looks great. The floor looks phenomenal. Those guys did a great job at getting it done in quick time, and I'm just so ecstatic for this, to show you guys this whole process. We're making a move on it. We're making a move on it. If you guys like the video, please give it a big thumbs up. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.